Hello, and welcome to another series. I will play Crusader Kings 3 using the hardest possible rule set. Today, we're going to be playing as a real Viking. Not this poser, I don't know who this guy is, some sort of feudal setup here, but a real Viking, someone who is both tribal as well as a Sautru. Namely, Haraldr, Tanglehair, Yngling here of Vestfold. But before we talk about him, let's get into what the rules of our game are going to be. We'll go ahead and start first. For our game rules, we'll be playing on Iron Man, and I will not reboot my computer or do any birding or do anything to reset or allow me to replay any decisions or events that occur. Whatever happens, happens, and I'll deal with it. Now that I have restarted recording my commentary, I also commit that I will not restart the game, regardless of how poorly it goes. We are playing on very hard difficulty, which gives a whole range of benefits to the AI. More gold, cheaper men-at-arms, cheaper buildings, cheaper mercenaries, along with a number of penalties to the player, such as reduced knight effectiveness. Hostile schemes by the player are more difficult. The player's vassals are more likely to join factions and rebel. Also playing with increased conqueror frequency, and every single conqueror will have scourge-of-the-gods, an incredibly powerful trait that gives them a massive increase to advantage, siege speed, army movement speed, and various other characteristics. All heirs will inherit the Scourge-of-the-Gods conqueror trait when a conqueror dies. We're playing on Doomsday plague frequency with unlimited random black deaths. Characters could die at any point simply because of plague. We're going to be playing with reduced use of legends here. Legends are very slow to spread, very high cost. Prevents players from abusing legends, as you may see in other games. And one of the most painful is -3 domain limit for the player only. That often means our domain limit is only going to be 1 or 2 holdings. It really cuts down on the amount of gold income levies we have and places that we can station our men-at-arms. And then there are a number of other disadvantages we're going to be playing with, as shown in the rest of these rules. In addition to the written rules, there is one unwritten rule I will follow, which is that I will not become a conqueror. If we become unlanded, I will not take the decision that allows me to become a conqueror. And if I am offered to become a conqueror at some point, just randomly, I will turn it down. I will go smell the daisies or other flowers and continue playing without the conqueror trait. So due to our standard setup here for Haraldr, you can see that we're already above our domain limit. Our domain limit's only 1 because of the -3 game limit rule. That's okay. I think most of this game we're probably going to be playing with 3 holdings, and we'll just have to tank these penalties. For Haraldr, he's a military character, only 3-star education. We're going to look to send him to university when we get the money, try to get him a better education, get him up to even 4, maybe even eventually 5. We are going to be leading our own armies, so we want chivalry focus for this advantage. Our wife, she's okay, but not great. You see here that we're quick. Ideally, what we want to have is a wife who also has some sort of intelligence trait. So we're actually going to divorce our current wife. We don't have any children. Our hope is to get concubines and a wife that has an intelligence trait, so of some sort, either quick, intelligent, even genius, so that our children will have this trait. We'll turn on inheritable traits, see who we can find. Not very many people. We have a different way of finding potential wives or concubines, which I have helpfully labeled here concubines. We want to see if there's anyone that we can invite to our court. Ideally, again, we're going to be looking for intelligent or genius women. Let's take a look to see who we can find here. Here's one. Will she come to our court? No. But I think we could probably convince her. We convince her by seduction. Let's see for both of these. Yep. So the plan here is we are going to target these women to seduce them. If we can successfully seduce them, they will likely like us enough that they will come to our court. We can then make them our wives or concubines. You can see here there are no geniuses within range, so that's not an option. Intelligent is the best we can do. Let's start with this 31-year-old. Seduce. Here we go. So now we've sorted out Haraldr's personal life to some extent. Let's look at the decisions. Make sure we are pinning the ones that we are interested in to make sure to take them. We'll pin invite religious exiles. We'll want to train for tournaments when we can. Our personal deity. It will be Uller here. Why? Because we want the extra 3 martial. We're not going to pin this one because we're going to keep it on Uller. There we go. 3 more martial. Meditate in seclusion. If we need to lose some stress, we'll do this. So we'll keep it pinned. Invite champions. Certainly something we'll want to do. Maybe not at this particular moment. We'll have to see. But we want it up there so we remember it. Likewise, activities. I like pinning my activities up here so I don't forget them. Probably aren't going to be hosting any grand tournaments, so we can pass on that one for now. But hunts, pilgrimages, and particularly going to university. Do want to do that as soon as we can, as soon as we get the gold. So you can see we have 2 men-at-arms regiments. You know, they're okay, but of course the classic Viking regiment are the Varangian veterans. So we're going to get those. We're going to go up and get 3 of them even. You see, we're going to be running a deficit in prestige because all of our troops cost prestige instead of gold since we're tribal. We will station the Varangian veterans in our best spot. And then because we have 300 Bondi, we will station them in our second best spot. When we start the game, we're going to wait a little while so the Varangian veterans reinforce, and then we are going to attack Thellamork over here. And I will apologize in advance. I will undoubtedly butcher every single Viking name up here. I don't know how to pronounce any of them. Feel free to make fun of me in the comments. I won't take it personally. So we've looked at decisions, looked at activities. This is something you want to do before unpausing, really in every game of CK3 that you play. Next, we're going to look at our courtiers, because we have a whole bunch of them, particularly members of our family. Want members of our family, ideally, to marry people with good genetic traits. Fortunately, there aren't that many of those. So we'll marry them to who we can. And you see this is our player heir, so we'll give him the pick of the group, so to speak. Then we'll marry these others. Guess there's no one that he can marry with a genetic trait, so we'll just go on to people with the overall best stats, like Sif here. We have our mother. Wonder if we can get any sort of alliance with our mother. Not really. So instead, we will have her matrimonially marry someone with good prowess. Because we are playing on very hard, the best highest skill level that anyone that our courtiers community will have is going to be 12. You can see that here. This guy has 12 prowess, 12 martial. That's as good as it's going to get. Rather have him as someone with 12 than not have a knight at all. Likewise, we'll use our ex-wife here to try to get someone with good prowess, which is this gentleman. Same for our Gidja, our realm priest. Same thing, we want her to bring in someone with good prowess for us. We have done those. So we look at our realm here. Let's look at our council. We want to be on foreign affairs for the prestige, that's fine. Here, if we were feudal, we try to develop the county. It's a little bit more debatable which one you want for tribal. If we want to become feudal at some point, and undoubtedly we will want to become feudal at some point, then we want the development, since that's one of the conditions for becoming feudal. For our marshal, this guy is not the greatest. We might want to replace him. Having him on organizing the army, reducing the army cost, is probably okay for now. Actually, let's switch him up to train commanders. I think that's better. Again, adopt feudal ways. We would need to have a development in our main holding of 10 or more. So there we go. We'll let the game run a bit here, and particularly let our Varangian veterans build up. Now that I've done this setup, let's talk a little bit about the 867 start date and how it interacts with this particular rule set. I do think, given the rule set we're playing, that the 867 start date is the most difficult. It's largely because we don't have access to very many innovations. Really, the way that at least I win these games on the hardest possible rule set is to build up my economy by constructing buildings in my holdings and then use the gold I generate to build up my army. It's very basic. There's a lot of nuances in terms of navigating the political situation and scourge conquerors that goes into that. But at the most fundamental level, you have to have a strong domain that generates a lot of gold, and you use that gold to build up a strong army. The problem is the amount of gold you can generate and the amount of men-at-arms you can have are both gated behind innovations. And starting here in tribal, or the 867 era, we're limited to tribal innovations, which are quite poor. And it's going to be not until 1050 when we can hit the high medieval era and get some of the innovations that really allow us to build good economic buildings and increase our size of our men-at-arms. They're really going to be focusing on men-at-arms here because, I talked about earlier, we're playing on very hard, and so our knight effectiveness gets minus 50%, which is a significant nerf. And so 867 really is difficult, largely for that reason. This decision here, we'll go with the highest chance of getting both gold and prestige. Hopefully it works, and it does, so that's good. Here, I think I'll give this a try, even though it's a coin flip. We'll take the stress, see what we can do, and we failed. Unfortunate. Other reason 867 is difficult is because of the number of scourge conquerors that are likely to pop up around Europe. In particular, one thing we have to be very careful about is usually there will be a Viking scourge conqueror. But who that will be, very hard to know. Could be Count Haston, who I maligned at the beginning of this video. Could be Ivar the Boneless. Over here, could be Halfdan Whiteshirt. Could be Baron Ironside. Sometimes it's this guy to our immediate north, Jarl Dag. If that happens, that's very bad because they'll often attack us first. But we're going to have to deal with, very likely have to deal with a Scourge Conqueror that's a Viking. Also could have Scourge Conquerors come from any of these tribal areas, these Sylvanskian and Vitalist areas. Also over here, almost Arpad very frequently becomes a Scourge Conqueror, at least in relative terms. Probably about a quarter of the time he ends up being a Scourge Conqueror. So a lot of Scourge Conquerors can be in Europe in 867. They can very quickly sweep across the map because there is no Holy Roman Empire. They can just gobble up these kingdoms here one at a time. It can go very quickly. The political situation can change very quickly. If one Scourge Conqueror dies, someone else rises up. So it's very fluid. We really have to be on our toes and be willing to react to those Scourge Conquerors, do what we can to prevent them from taking our land. And moreover, because those innovations are gated behind time periods, time dates, we're going to be playing for quite a while, navigating through these political difficulties caused by all these Scourge Conquerors. And if we slip up even once, we could very easily lose all our land, have become landless, and then have to work as a landless character to build ourselves up and get back land somewhere. So this guy is part of our duchy here. We're going to be attacking him. The reason why is we really need to be able to form this duchy title, which currently we need 3 counties to do. Until we form a duchy title, we can't really give away any land that we conquer. I mean, we could, but whoever we give it to would become independent of us, which we don't want. We want to increase the size of our realm. So we're going to take this guy on. Once we take his land, we're going to start raiding, if we need to get the gold to create the title for the Duchy of Viking. Of course, we're going to lead our own armies here. You see he's running away. We will get a personal physician, not someone who's any good. I think that's all we need for now. Just take the time here to siege down his holding. He seems to have no interest in defending it, so that's fine with me. You know, I'd be happy to fight him and get the levels of fame, but he doesn't want to. That's fine. We did not get any prisoners, which is too bad. We'll enforce our demands. That's all good. Let's invite more champions. Also, we'll get the control up in our new county. Let's see if we can have, let's see when our champions come in, we'll probably replace our marshal. Again, we don't quite have enough income to form Viking. We need about 20 more. We will do that by raiding, our favorite activity. We'll recruit this guy to our court first. Get him a wife so he's happy and stays with us. She looks fine. Over here, let's look at her attributes to see. I mean, she's brave. Maybe she'd be interested in me being brave. So up I go. See what happens here. All right. Now, I'm going to look to see where I want to raid. probably will wait a little bit for our Varangian veterans. So here we go. You see I did turn on the nudity filter. Very important. We do want her to be our lover. Hopefully we can invite her to our court now. We'll have to pay for our travel expenses. That's okay. Well, fortunately, we lost the level of devotion. That's too bad. We will now marry her. It does cost me a good bit of legitimacy, but rather take that hit now. And we'll also go after this woman. Might be hard to get her in our court, even if we seduce her, but let's give it a shot. Again, we're waiting until our Varangian veterans get up to 300. Then we're going to be doing some raiding. Okay, already having a child, that's good. Also station these guys over here. Just checking to see what's been raided already. Looks like Canterbury, which often has a lot of gold, has already been raided. Perhaps that's not a surprise. Would we want to go to this grand tournament? I think maybe not right now. Actually, let's do it. We'll go while we wait for our Varangian veterans to fill up here. And as soon as we're done with this grand tournament, we'll be doing some raiding somewhere. That's a nice beefy champion there. Quite a large man. I guess there's literally no one he can marry. It's a bit surprising. So here I really want to increase my score, do our best to win this event. Winning the event gives us prestige and gold, which are two things we want. Usually do not bother trying to sabotage anyone. Don't want to get caught and get a bad reputation. Instead, we'll just move on. Same thing here. Don't want to spend prestige. This is not my concern. Don't want to spend gold. And then looking for the highest percentage chance, which is that first one up there. We'll see if we get lucky. Looks like we did. So that's good. Again, get gold, get prestige, get an artifact. All good stuff. Artifact of this brooch. Not great, but better than nothing. Equip it here and move on. All right. Too bad not a son. We have an intelligent daughter, so that's good. If anyone has seen me play before, you know I love using elective titles to prevent my realm from splitting up and prevent counties from going to people other than my primary heir. Certainly our plan will be to slap an elective title in the Duchy of Viking after we create it, so that these 3 counties I currently hold will go to whoever my primary heir is. She is an analytic villain. Analytic to me suggests she is thoughtful, so we'll try to take the thoughtful option. That did seem to work. All right, we are now at 300 Varangian veterans. So here, in terms of our options, we can do pillage, which is the normal one. We can do capture, but the problem is we're playing on very hard, meaning the amount we get for ransoms is only a quarter of the amount we would get on normal settings. So for example, if there's and it's rounded down also. So for example, on regular settings, if you captured someone and would get 10 gold for them, here that would go down to 2.5 and get rounded down to a whopping 2 gold. So really not any point in using capture, just not worth it. Adventure is quite interesting, but there are some penalties to raid speed here. If we're going far afield, we'll probably use adventure, but I think for now, let's just stick with the base one of pillage. Again, we will be leading our armies. Guess we could raid our neighbors here. They actually have a fair amount of gold. I guess to try to avoid stress, we will pick this first option. Go over here and raid this area as well. And then we'll do some overseas raiding. Again, we'll want to look to see where the best area to do that might be. We can invite her to our court. Make her our concubine. Happy to take a lot of plunder here. Already have 55 gold. So let's go back, make the Duchy of Viking. Then we'll very likely go out again, do some overseas raiding this time. As a Viking, if you're not doing anything else, you want to be raiding. You just want to raid all the time. Get gold and get prestige. Both of those are great. Also sway our realm priest here, since she does not like us because we keep committing adultery, fornication. We will disband, get back up to full strength, and then re-raise. For our perks, we're going to go with stalwart leader, try to minimize any risk of us in commanding armies, and then we will go down the strategist tree. Strategist, particularly important because we don't have access to siege equipment yet, and so we want to get all the way down here to sappers so we can siege at a relatively efficient rate. East Anglia looks like a good place to go and do some raiding, so we'll wait month just to make sure our men are completely reinforced. Then we'll go do some raiding. Almost want to get yet another stack of Varangian veterans, but let's hold off. Let's do this raid first. Let's see for Wessex if Wessex is now ruled by King Alfred, who has amazing stats, as you see. This is the guy who become Alfred the Great, so we want to be very careful about raiding Wessex. because their forces led by King Alfred can probably beat us. Speaking of being beaten, we made a mistake in landing right on top of their army. That's just unfortunate. It's not even, yeah, it is their army. Okay, so that was bad. Not much to say about it. Have another intelligent daughter. That's good. I said before that we're going to make mistakes. And that was one of them. I do think let's go ahead, get more Varangian veterans. Then we'll have to wait a bit for our troops to reinforce. Obviously, our first attempt at raiding did not go well, but we're going to keep trying. What I am going to do is be more careful about where I land my troops this next time. Happy to try to learn a new commander trait. All right, here we go. Second try at raiding. Looking to see if these Europeans are involved in any wars. If so, they become tempting targets. All right, so let's be smart about this. We'll head in here and land where their armies are not. Another daughter. So I've had 3 daughters so far. After we sway our realm priest a bit more, we'll start looking into seducing more women to come and become our concubines. Okay, we're doing a little bit better this time, in the sense that we didn't immediately get defeated. We want to raid for gold and prestige, also to get the trait of being a Viking, which gives us prestige, martial, prowess, a lot of good things. I think we can attack these troops now. They moved away, that's fine. Raid some of these temples. Okay, now he is coming for us. You see we have a much better advantage than him. So we stack wipe those armies. We get prestige and piety, which is both good. Keep raiding. See, King Alfred is not at war with anyone. I mean, our troops are probably better than his. The concern is he is a very capable military commander. I mean, we're pretty good ourselves, but I think it's too risky to go into his lands and then try to invite him to attack us. What about Mercia here? Yeah, same thing with those mercenaries. Probably not a good idea to go in there and attack him. We'll take our current loot, go back home, come back and do some more raiding somewhere. Brittany could be a good option. Could also, if we wanted to, start attacking more into Norway. In real life, Haraldr established Norway, united all these disparate tribes into one kingdom. That is something I'd probably like to do here. Also have something set up to look for conquerors, so let's see where the conquerors are. See, Diary, the Stranger of Kiev. Okay, King Rurik. So those two are quite close. They're a bit to our east. This guy also quite far to our east. This guy in India of the Chola dynasty, he is the only person in this start date that begins with the conqueror trait, so he is always a scourge conqueror. And then we see the man who I made fun of to start this game, Jarl Hasten, also become a scourge conqueror. He is in fact down here in Galicia, so presumably he will be more concerned about Iberia. Given the number of scourge conquerors that there already exist, it does make me wonder if there'll be another Viking scourge conqueror. Just don't know. We'll let our forces regenerate a little bit. And then I think we will go over here to Rogaland and take his territory. Except we can't because I'm center. So we'll just do some more raiding. Again, we'll take a look at Lotharingia. They are just started fighting, so I think we can probably raid along their coast. They'll be too occupied fighting Italy to come bother us, so let's do that. Though we'll make sure we don't land on an opposing army, unlike last time. Okay, we're a forter, that's fine. Forter is not the greatest commander trait because if you become a strategist down here, you get the ability to cross rivers without incurring a penalty to your advantage if you fight someone on the other side. So sort of a bit duplicative of what Forter does, but it's okay. Still rather have a commander trait than not have it. So I guess the question is what we want to educate our child to be. I think stewardship is good here. We will educate her ourselves. Ideally at some point we're going to have a son, but you never know. Could just have a lot of daughters, so we'll educate our eldest daughter in case she ends up being our heir. Let's take the bounteous plunder. See, we already have quite a bit of gold. Again, we really want to be raiding as much as possible. And rejecting it is fine. I didn't really want him to accept it, frankly. Just did that to avoid stress. See if we can attack this city without taking any attrition. We can, so we'll do that. Then after this city and then this holding, we'll have all the loot we can carry for the moment. We'll go back to our home. I did want someone to come out to fight me so I can get some piety, but I think we'll take Stein here. His 16 prowess is quite good. He'll be a quality knight, or champion, as the terminology is here. Disband our army. So we have a nice chunk of gold at the moment. Let's see how expensive a university visit is. 314, so more than we currently have, but one more raiding trip should get that. I think we'll go raiding again. We go to university, and then think about ways to get out of being a center. Okay, our realm priest likes us plenty now, so I think we can stop swaying her. Let's see if we can do some more sinning by finding more concubines. See if there are any intelligent women that are available. Looks like the answer is no. I'm confident the same will be true of genius women. All right, so we will go with quick. Really want to get the intelligence trait into our want to get the intelligence trait into our bloodlines as much as we can. Try to seduce this woman. Might be the only person we seduce for a while. Okay, our armies are raising up here. We'll head back down to Lotharingia. Let's make sure that they are still fighting Italy. They should be. Not doing very well, but they are fighting. So while they're occupied, we will take the opportunity to raid them. Probably should let my forces build up a little bit more, but I think we'll be okay. And again, if a Christian force attacks us, that's not too bad. You know, at least if we win, because what we will want is more piety, which we will get from beating Christian forces. Change my wife here to chivalry to further increase my advantage in case we do get into combat. You know, having a marshal of 37, very strong. Looks like here some people come to fight us. Unfortunately, they are going to beat us. That is, that is just too bad. All right, well, that's unfortunate. They'll have to go home or just disband and let our forces build up. We're not the greatest raiders at the moment, apparently, but hopefully someday we will get there. At least we'll defeat these guys. You can see defeating them gave us some piety and prestige. Unfortunately, now we're being raided. So really want to get back home to our capital and defend ourselves from any raids. Don't want them killing our children or spouse or concubine. That's unfortunate that she moved away. We'll break up with her. We'll influence our possible heir's personality. See if we can make her brave. If we fight these people, will we win? We should. Oh, that was a bit of a mistake. I should have waited until our disembarkation penalty had run off, but it does look like we're going to win regardless. Go with engineer for destruction because I want living off the land for the additional raid speed. Guess, let's see here. Do we have any? Guess we'll make this our second eldest daughter. Give her diplomacy. We'll educate her as well for now. Let's also get a tutor. It's very important. Get a seneschal to improve our other court positions. Put our tutor and educate children. Try to increase the skills of our children. We'll also get a wet nurse to try to instill virtue to them. Saying the children are our future is very trite, but in this game it's actually true. We really want our children to be as good as possible because we will be playing as them in the future. Also going to get a master of horse, put him on war horse grooming so we get more advantage. Hopefully we'll stop losing these wars. We'll disband our armies when we can and have them regenerate. Wait until we're back up to full strength. Guess we can raise a rune stone here. And Thelamork. That guy's okay. Might as well have him come to our port. Become another champion. Well, at least he's not a scourge conqueror. We will increase our Varangian veterans here. Could also get some Huskarls. Station the Huskarls here. Again, try to have some nice beefy forces to fight off this guy. We'll continue to have our armies unraised for a little bit while they reinforce. And then when they're good and reinforced and this guy's dug in, then we can attack him. Mildly surprised we already have a peasant revolt, but I guess it is what it is. I guess we could try seducing this woman. So she's already pregnant with someone's kid. Okay, well, whatever, not a big deal. We're not picky for our concubines. All right. I think now is the time to raise our armies. Oh, now he's running away. Not sure why you're running. You're the one that attacked me. Don't think we'll catch him here. Very close, though. Not particularly interested in trying to siege his lands. So we'll just disband for now. Try to influence this other daughter's personality, make her brave, since it's a virtue. Culture didn't work. We're gonna have a stress break, but thankfully we can get athletic, which is very useful. Use that to work off some stress. Don't want to go to the grand tournament because we want to be here to command our armies. Try to raise our armies again, see if we can attack this guy this time. He's probably going to run away again, maybe not. So we have a big advantage there. Do we get anything from enforcing our demands? I mean, 79. It's not bad, but it's not great either. I think we just fight peace. Now let's go back to our rating. See who looks like a good target. He is defending, so I think we can go back there. We did lose before, but we have a bigger force now. So I think we'll be able to win. Go over here. Well, again, let's go to the coast and make sure that there's no army there waiting for us. I do want to get back to attacking to try to consolidate Norway here, but we'll need to get our level of devotion up a little bit. I had forgotten that we had some peasants. So we'll make this woman another concubine. We'll do a little bit of raiding down here. We're going to get attacked again. Hopefully we win. I don't know. Oh, it's going to be close. I do think we're going to win here. To get some more piety. Oh, we need to get back to our... Need to get back to our lands anyway. Defeat these peasants. It's unfortunate. They're probably going to complete that siege. They're sieging very quickly. That is unfortunate. See if their leader is any good. He is actually. Let's negotiate his release and recruit him. He can be another one of our champions. See, let our forces reinforce here. Get back up to full strength, and we'll do some more raiding. Again, let's take a look at who is engaged in fighting. Could try attacking East Francia along the river here, since they're in a war. Yeah, they should be distracted. Hopefully we can get some good loot. Really thought we'd have a Sunbind How. As I say it, there it is. He is. We'll keep educating our daughters for a little while. There's another son. Though he is not intelligent, but just quick. So not as good, frankly. Here we go. Increase our raid speed, which is helpful. Would like someone to come fight us, and there we go. We passed like ships in the night. Another one of my family members died, unfortunately. Meant to look at how much piety we got from there. We're almost back up to being able to attack our fellow countrymen in Scandinavia. See, that place has already been looted. Well, this one has also been raided. How about over here? That one is okay. We'll get some gold from it. These places all tributaries of Sweden? They are indeed. He is not a scourge conqueror yet, at least. Let's take another look to see what scourge conquerors are around. Nogas, Athenia, not much has changed. So it looks like Haston is taking over Akiton. I guess he did not like my insult at the beginning. Huh. And Denmark has absolutely fallen apart. Guess Sigurdur, snake in the eye, died. Something happened to him. Those who saw our last series where he played 867, our Sigurdur played a major role, but does not look like it's going to happen in this game. So one of the nice things about playing this difficulty settings is, truly every game is different. Really depends on the randomness of who becomes a scourge conqueror. We now have plenty of loot. Let's go back home. We should be about to get to the next level of devotion. I think what we'll do here is go to university, try to improve our educational trait, and then call the episode. We'll change our wife to patronage, so she increases our learning, which will help us succeed at university, hopefully. Okay, university visit. Go to Upland here. It's a big chunk of gold, but hopefully it'll be worth it. We could also think about getting Alfheimar here, which is part of the Duchy of Viking. Would put us significantly over our domain limit, but maybe worth holding all 4 of the de jure counties of Viking. And you'll really work on building those up, having that as our domain and base of power. Want to do whatever we can to increase our studiousness, so long as we don't get too stressed out. Oh boy. That's a lot of stress. Let's try this first one. It's very risky. Okay, it didn't work. It's worth a shot. We did lose a lot of prestige. It's unfortunate. But we'll continue on. Now we're having a lot of sons. Hopefully this works. Did. Great. What do I want? I think I want stewardship, probably. What do I want? Probably want diplomacy, actually. Get a little more prestige. I thought this would have increased by more. Say this is outrageous. I want her to be brave, because brave is a virtue in our society. This is a coin flip. Let's flip the coin. We failed. Let's invite champions. Okay, we'll become more successful. I'm guessing we did not. Yeah, unfortunately, we did not improve our martial education trait. That is unfortunate, but it is what it is, and we will deal with it. You know, when we're, how old are we? 28. Meant to pin myself. Is there any way to shift myself up? I guess not. Anyway, so when we're 50 or so, maybe we can try it again, depending on what our health looks like. We will bring this nice beefy man. To be our champion. Don't have anyone great to marry him to, unfortunately. Take the stress loss. I'll save him, though I get wounded. But thankfully I lost the wound. Try to restore some control. Let's go on one more raid. Oh, or maybe we can just conquer. Wow, he has a lot of allies. I take it back. He only really has one ally. Oh, he has a lot of mercenaries. That's what he has. I think let's go raid first. I feel like I want to raid. Then when we do that, we can come back and conquer some more territory. Let's look to see if any of the Christian kingdoms are wrapped up in wars. They are not. Oh, Wessex. What happened to Alfred? Died from internal injuries. That is just too bad. I guess in this timeline, Alfred did not really become the Great. We are going to go down and just absolutely raid Wessex. Again, just the randomness of history, really. We'll change our wife back to chivalry to increase our advantage as much as possible, so we'll hopefully win battles when we get into them. We will be filling up our bags of loot here from Wessex. No longer have the threat of being attacked by Alfred the Great, who is an extremely powerful character. So we'll just clean up here. Probably come back here repeatedly. Is there anyone we need to sway? I guess we don't have any subjects yet, so maybe not. Need to switch over to educating our sons soon. Wow, he got a big force come after me, but looks like we are still going to win. Got, good piety and prestige there. Got a level of fame. It's all good. Wouldn't mind if you came and attacked me again. Get even more fame and prestige. And piety. Looks like he is coming back for a second round. And again, we have a good advantage. Guess we'll make him diplomacy focused. We really want him to have an education that corresponds with his childhood trait, because we want him to have the best education possible, since education in large part determines your domain limit. So, raid this church and then head back home. And there we go, we have the Viking trait. So when we get back home, we'll call the episode. I think getting the Viking trait is a good thing to end on. See, Sweden here is getting more and more powerful. Which one is Einar? Alright. Guess we'll send Einar to Sweden. Looks like even without being a scourge conqueror, Sweden is really making tributaries of everyone else. Again, we'll make her brave. Getting attacked yet again. We got plenty of piety and prestige from it, so all good. I think we will try to quickly grab Alfheimar here. And then we'll start that war. Leave its prosecution to the next episode. I just want to get this county, which is again part of our de jure duchy. So we'll raise our troops and send those in. And then we'll call it here. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Obviously, we made some mistakes along the way. Got beat up a couple times when trying to raid, but things are going okay. I wish we had conquered more of Norway early, but given our domain limit restrictions, the need to get a duchy title very early, that wasn't too feasible. In any event, if you enjoyed the episode, please like, subscribe, comment. I hope you'll join me for the next one. Thanks very much, and goodbye.